Welcome to On the Fence, the show that's about helping you decide whether or not to spend your hard-earned money on the biggest and possibly best releases. Nick, the second of our next-gen features is up. This is On the Fence. This is the PS5. Are you fucking ready?
Yes, because I have no limits. Me, I am play.
To be fair, you don't have limits because you don't care who you piss off.
Yeah.
But like, we're looking at Sony's answer to the Xbox Series X.
Yes.
We are looking at the PlayStation 5.
Yes.
The big bastard of a console that's sitting right in front of us.
The giant router.
It is a router. So Nick, or sorry, well, not Nick, but brothers and sisters, as usual, what will happen is we'll do 5 to 10 minutes of the UI stuff and then launch into a select few games. And all in all, we should be... And then finally, Nick shall then give us his final opinions on the PS5. And... what the fuck was I going to say? Oh, all in all, this will take about an hour at most. You ready?
Yep.
Nick, what is the UI of the PS5 like?
So, this is the...
home screen?
Yeah, the home screen. So, it's kind of a evolution of the crossbar that they've had for a while now, but even more so like the PS4, where you had a different tile for each of your games, and then you had your big old library down at the end there. So this fills up kind of like the Xbox with everything you've played recently. You've always got your store here, it sits there, and you can buy your stuff. So this is kind of one of my first issues with the PS5. Cat, would you stop eating that fucking wire? I will choke you out.
I'll close this.
So, one of the big issues I think I have with it is it just feels like there's a lot of dead space on this screen that is taken up by nothing but static images of the game. Like, if I hover over to Demon's Souls, like, half the screen is just nothing.
I think that was an intentional choice on their part. Like, not in terms of like, oh, like I think they wanted you to see that art. Like, they want this to be more like a desktop.
But like, I see that art when I boot up the game.
Sorry, I just realized.
It's just like, it just feels like there's a lot of screen real estate here, and I think this is as long as this bar at the top goes.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a...
once you hit the library bit, that's kind of...
No, as in, like, I think this is as far... like, this is as many items as could be on it.
No, that's what I mean, because the library bit is always the last
but I think literally I have... like, it's not even the fact that I don't have enough installed. I think I have started pushing things off this bar already, and there's only, 8 things on here?
Yeah, you're thinking you maybe just do it the length of the screen.
Like, it doesn't even get to the other side of the screen when I'm all the way across. It just seems very... it seems too minimalist, for lack of a better term.
I do look at it and I just automatically think PC desktop. Like, you've got the wallpaper in the background, you've got your icons across the top. It seems like that's what they were trying to emulate almost.
Like, it's weird. Like, it's... like, why do I need a big play button here to hit the Play Astro when I could just hit X here and it takes me to Play Astro? Yeah. Like, why not stick some of this activity stuff, like, on the main screen? Or, like, use... I don't know. It just seems like, what's the point in showing me stuff that I can... already, like, yeah, why do I need to go down to hit play when I can hit play here and it does the same thing?
Like, if you go down, like, make that button something else that would take you to that fan page sort of thing, you know?
Like, especially, like, I think that we'll get into the activity stuff when we're actually in a game, but I think this is really cool stuff, and the fact they're not surfacing it straight away is kind of weird. So the other big issue, so we went into it a bit with in the Xbox video, is the fact that if I go down to play Miles Morales, but go here,
the options,
yep, you can see I have 2 versions of Miles Morales here.
And that is not including the one that is...
that is not including the PS5 version that is already currently selected. So if I hit X here, it has now changed this one to the PS4 version and put the PS5 version in here. It is just so fucking weird. And I don't know what has happened. And like the same thing will happen, say, once the PS5 version of FIFA appears, is this will say FIFA 21, and then I'll have the PS4 version in here.
Yeah, so what I don't like as well is how small they make the PS4, PS5 thing. So if you go back to FIFA there and go down to the play bit, like it's there, like it's only just there beside, like that is tiny. So like, especially when you go back to Miles Morales, like you can't, so like you go down and then you hit the options to change it.
Yeah.
And then go to PS4 and then it goes to the PS4. Like there's 3 options there, and now you have to kind of look at how that needs to be more prominent of which version you currently have selected, I think.
I just like we said, like, why even give me the option of the other versions? Like, it just doesn't seem like it's required.
Yeah.
It just seems like if I want to play Miles Morales, why would I be sitting with the PS5 version and not want to play it? Like, I don't know if it'll be different. Like, I don't know if there is any games where if you buy the PS4 version, you don't get the PS5 version. But even then, like, why surface, like, if I have both versions of the game, why give me the option to play either?
No, you're right.
Seems
like,
weird.
It's a bad design.
Yeah, like so the other thing I don't like is I think this is not as neatly handled as the Xbox's solution. Like, it's essentially, it's mainly just because there's not as many like options to filter it. Like, that doesn't really tell me like, oh, does this include games that have PS5 updates but aren't necessarily PS5 games? Does this include like I don't see here what games I'm only getting because I have PlayStation Plus and things like that. Like, it appears when I hover over it, but Xbox surfaces all that without you needing to like hover over it all. It just seems very weird. You see the ones that have locked icons are games that I think that means they're the disc version of the game, so I can't just boot it up from here. I would need to go get the disc. Yeah, it's very strange. You have the source stuff, so I can say, all right, here are games I've actually bought. Here are games I'm getting because I have PlayStation Plus, and then PlayStation Now. I don't know what other is. It's very vague. PlayStation Now, games I've played with PlayStation Now, but need to then would re-up my subscription to play them. I don't know, I feel like the filters are there and like you can get to them. I don't think they're as good as the Xboxes, and I don't think they're as well surfaced as the Xbox's filters. Yeah, like kind of the general rule of thumb is kind of how many button presses do you have to get to see some sort of information. Yeah. And like Xbox is literally none. You don't. It's all there literally on the screen, whereas that one you have to actually move the cursor over to it. So one of the other things I also don't like is one of the options when you were hit your options thing on a game, one of the things that they surfaced right away was upload and download save games from the cloud, which they've removed from here, and you now need to go all the way into the settings, go down to save game and game apps, and then upload the same way you would in the PS4. No, because that's the thing is in the PS4 you would hit start there and it would give you the option to download your files from here. I didn't know that. Actually. So you wouldn't need to go through all the rigmarole of doing it. It's just like they've shuffled the UI about in a weird way, and very little of it I feel like is for the better. And it's weird as well because the PS4 I think we talked about it before. The PS4 is the standard bearer. Like the PS4's UI was so good that the Switch kind of mimicked it. Yeah, you know. So it's really weird why they've seemed to have digressed and gone backwards with it. Shall we do a couple of... Yeah, so I'll jump in the Astro Playroom here. I meant tests. Do you want to do tests? Fine. We'll do one because we still got a minute left. Nick, change your profile picture. But I don't want to. Don't actually have to, but get to the point where you would. I'm assuming it would be this edit icon. And then profile picture. Right, I change it to something less stupid. No, I like my two. Okay, that's fine. We'll do one more. Show me your achievements or trophies for Spider-Man Miles Morales. Okay. Another thing is I feel like you used to be able to say blanket, show me all the hidden trophies, but now you actually need to button into each one, go to the options, and then hit show hidden information. I feel like that used to be a toggle whenever you're looking at all trophies. Yeah. Alright, okay, so that's the UI test done. So your first game it shows is Astro Playroom. So Astro Playroom, this actually comes pre-installed on your PlayStation. and it's
Can you uninstall it?
oh yeah.
Okay.
So, and it's kind of used as a probably actually I'll quickly shoot out the main menu because probably it's to talk about the PlayStation without first mentioning the DualSense controller hands.
Nick, what is the DualSense controller?
So they've kind of completely reworked the controller for this, and they've kind of put a lot of effort into the controller. It's not just an evolution of, say, the PS4s. They have put a lot of new technology into the controller. And while a game like Astros uses it very well, it'll be interesting to see how many developers actually get into it and start doing really cool shit with the controller. Essentially, this bit of Astros, and kind of all of Astro, is designed to show you the new controller in all its fun and glory, and all the cool stuff it can do. So, it's got haptic feedback, similar to the Joy-Cons on the Switch, which is just a more kind of in-depth version of Rumble, or like the... Oh god, I didn't mean to go back. Go back. Can I not go back? Oh.
You fucked it already.
Back there. So it essentially just means that if... also, well, first off, the triggers it shows off here is... There's actually like pseudo locks on the triggers. Like, so I can push the trigger down, like with what I would say normal force here, and it stops. And I actually need to then like properly pull it to get it to like do the next bit of it. So there's actually like gears in place that make it harder to pull the trigger at a certain point, and then that could be like programmed on a per game basis for different bits of the game for like quick time events and things.
Or even just you sit there thinking that if you have a game that has like degradation on a gun,
yeah,
like you can't pull the trigger anymore, so they can block like, you from pulling the full way.
So the touchpad, it's kind of the exact same.
Except you have two fingers now.
Yep. So the motion sensor of this bit is also really shows off well the haptic feedback. Is that like if I tilt my controller to the side, like you can see on the screen, it actually focuses. Like I actually feel it like rumbling, like the bolts in the controller feel like they're rumbling down the controller into this side of it. And then if I do the same thing again, like it feels like they're going from one end of the controller to the other. And like as I shake them around as well, like I only feel the vibrations like on the bottom bit of the controller, because that's in theory where they are. And it's really cool. I think there is cool stuff you could do with it. It's just now that there's this disparity between the DualSense and the Xbox controller, are we going to see anything beyond the first party Sony games really take advantage of it? Oh, there's also a microphone in the controller now, so I can go.
Man, the controller's going to be moist.
Controller has COVID now.
Jesus.
So I think that's cool. Like they've obviously put a lot of thought into the controller, but it'll be interesting to see then who takes that ball and runs with it. Will it only be the Sony first party games? Because even then, like I've been playing Demon Souls, and it hasn't done a lot of it. Like I don't think I've noticed anything that is controller specific. Miles Morales had a bit of it, but it also didn't feel like anything you couldn't have done with ordinary like I could have done that on the PS4 controller and probably not have noticed. So let's jump into let's jump into this one. I just feel like it's the one I've seen the least of. So Astros, as we mentioned, is like a pack-in game, just kind of to show off the aspects of the controller mainly. And there's also just kind of a bit of a love letter to the PlayStation in general. You'll notice as I go through and do bits of this, you'll see like, oh look, it's all PlayStation logos everywhere, and
there are flowers.
Yep, and you'll see where's the kind of the first one. Yeah, so you'll see like, oh look, it's
flower.
It's a reference to flower, and like I think this is actually a really cool thing. Like at its core, it's also just like a really good platformer. Like regardless of the PlayStation side of things, I think it's just a nice platformer.
Do you feel that wind? Is that?
Oh yeah. I feel like the rumbles of the controller going like sweeping across the controller essentially. What is it, Hans?
Oh, Ape Escape.
Yeah. So yeah, like this is like Astros is like it's not necessarily a difficult game by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a cool little tech demo essentially for the controller and what the controller can do. And
like it is more of a game than they really needed to put into it. Like they really literally could have made this a tech demo.
Yeah.
But they haven't. They have 100% properly put a full, not full feature length game, but what is it, 5 hours maybe?
Like I have done a lot in this. I'd say I'm I'm nearing the platinum, and I think I've sunk about 5 to 6 hours into it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what this is. This is the one that I had no idea.
Is it home?
No, I think it might be Katamari, but I honestly couldn't tell you.
Oh look, it's in the shape of a controller, Nick.
Yeah.
Oh look, there's your favorite. Death Stranding.
Alright.
Did you ever complete that?
Nope. Why'd you make such a weird game? Give me all your money.
I want my 50 quid back.
Oh.
What are you doing?
He's trying to save that guy from drowning.
Oh.
Oh god.
As well.
So like, yeah, the way Astrobot's kind of set up is you have these platforming levels, and then each of these platforming levels leads into essentially a vehicle level, so to speak. And each of these vehicles kind of show off a bit of the controller. So this one, it's you like hop into a ball that rolls around. You can control it with the touchpad. One of them is you're in like a monkey suit, and you'll have to apply a different amount of pressure to the triggers to make sure you don't like break the handholds you're using.
Oh. Oh. Oh, I'm gonna barf. Look, it's a PlayStation.
Yep.
It's so weird to see one of the old PlayStation controllers that doesn't have analog sticks.
Yep. But yeah, like it's as far like it sounds weird, but Astro is like one of the like most fun I've had, honestly, like on the PlayStation, just because like it feels.
Can you feel that?
Yeah, like I can feel the controller rumbling in a different way than it would normally. Like it's one of the most fun. Like it's fun because it feels like something that no other console could do.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't do half the stuff Astro is getting away with, like if you weren't on like the DualSense.
I also feel like though on top of that, it's a case of because it's a love letter also to kind of like the PlayStation history.
Yeah.
That makes it appeal to us people who are kind of who are maybe Xbox players and not really never played it, might not enjoy it as much. But I definitely feel like for us,
I feel like even outside of that, it's a very solid platformer.
but like it's a solid platform in the sense that like it's an like it's a family friendly one. You know, it's not, you wouldn't put on par with like Mario. You know, like it's a wee fun thing that they put in. It's not going to be winning any fucking awards anytime soon. I don't know what that is.
I think it's like Warhawks or something. Or, I don't know.
Like to me, I think it is cool, but I feel like part of the fun is one seeing. Yes, it's a solid platformer behind it, but seeing the history and all like the Easter eggs and kind of go like, oh yeah, I remember that game, and oh yeah, like, do you remember like that's what the PSP sounded like when it booted up? I think the novelty as well of it like being like a all set inside a PS5 was quite funny as well. That's cute as well. It has a wee umbrella.
Yep. He gets a wee like rubber ring as well when he's in
the water. I've seen that. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were gonna get hit there. Look at them. They're all like,
oh shit.
He has a skeleton neck. Did you see that?
No.
But he got the electricity hit him. Go get shocked.
No.
But he has a skeleton. He's a robot and he has a skeleton.
Wait.
Oh.
Trying to take in.
That's
infamous.
That's infamous, yeah. Shoo, shoo. So now let's talk about the size of the PS5.
It's ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. Like insanely stupid. I do not like the design of the console. On its side, I think it looks slightly better.
I disagree.
No.
I think it looks better standing upright, and I'm gonna. So it's taken me to get to this point. I was gonna say I fucking love the design of the PS5. No. I really do.
Why? It looks so bad.
It's so over the top, and that's why I love it.
I feel like it's over the top in a bad way.
But I know, but that's the thing. Like it's over the top in a bad way, and that's why I love it. It's so unnecessarily like. They were like, we're gonna make this avant-garde, and then I was like, you did make an avant-garde, you crazy bastards. It's like, what if Hideo Kojima could like design a console and then they just went and did it? It's so dumb, I love it.
So I do kind of want to get to the end of this because I feel like each of these worlds end in a nice like throwbacky way.
Because there's 4 worlds and the kind of
Yeah, so each world kind of it's not like you'll see only things from like say, so this is the PS1 world, but it's not like I'm only seeing. Oh god, it's not like I'm only seeing PS1 things in this world. It's just.
But at the end, it has
there's like a
monument.
PS1 reference.
Oh,
Oh,
well, he's dead.
trying to go too fast through all that ice.
Just get. Oh, you actually have a break.
Yeah, you do have a break button.
Shoom, shoom, shoom. Have you we'll probably get into it a bit more once we kind of go into one of the later games here, but graphically, have you Jesus Christ, that is just straight at the PS1.
This one's not as cool, I'd say. I realize, like, because the other ones are like, say, when you get to the end of the like say the PS4 world, like when you get here and look around, you're actually like inside the PS4 home screen, and you see like the crossbar icons sitting.
Well,
at
is
the
that
top.
not the memory card screen, like with the bubbles?
Oh yeah,
And I think because I think the bubbles were like
yeah. Like
represented the.
that's also the way those like the stuff was designed on the.
It's ridiculous, like.
Yep.
Like you can actually like open it up and read that thing inside. So yeah, so we get into a bit more maybe whenever we look at one of the more graphically demanding games. But have you noticed a? Do you have a preference to how either one of the game or consoles runs or looks? Like, do you feel like the PS5 is better looking, or do you think it's the same? Or...
I have not. Like it's hard.
What the fuck?
What? That's for the PSVR.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the processor box for the PSVR. It's hard to judge, obviously, because I've not played the same game on both consoles, but, like, neither is doing something I don't feel like the other could do right now, bar the controller stuff,
Yeah.
obviously, but, like, playing Miles Morales, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sure, like, I have no, like, I don't think that the Xbox couldn't run Miles Morales if it was required to, and things like that, and I don't feel like, the way I'm playing Valhalla, I don't feel like...
Well, obviously the PS5 could possibly
Yeah.
run it. You can actually pick up the trophy and just fuck them out. That's ridiculous.
One of my favorite one of these is shit. Where is he? God, there's so many of these. No. PlayStation Home. Run through the door. God, where is he?
I feel like you've done a lap.
No, I haven't. Skyline Spyro. There we go. All the rejected PlayStation logos.
Yeah, I've actually seen some of them. It's the, what one is it I saw? Oh, the disc one is something I had seen before.
Yeah, like this whole thing is just like a little love letter to everything that Sony has ever done. Like you can have all these fucking
Buzz.
yeah, you have all these like things you can interact with and hit, and there's a fucking achievement for turning the PlayStation logo on the PlayStation the right way. Because if you go and turns it up the right way up. There's a gacha machine back here. Wow. They're always emptied. So like there's like force on this. So like it actually stops there with normal force, and then you actually hear it go like pull back properly.
Got another trophy.
Yeah.
I would not set off fireworks when it comes to a space like that.
No, that seems dangerous. So yeah, I really like Astro's Playroom. It's a cool packet. It is up there with Wii Sports as like a very, very fucking good pack-in game.
Yeah. Probably doesn't have the replayability of Wii Sports.
Oh yeah, probably
but
not.
like, yes, 100%. It is like, it is so much more effort than they needed to put in, but I'm so glad that they did. Like even just this is like anything you hit here does something.
Yeah.
Like even if it just turns over or turns on, like anything you do, it does something, which is so much more effort than they needed to put in. Dude really likes that PlayStation 3. Ball charted.
Ah. Asshole.
So, like, what other games do you want to show us?
So, this will also help me show off one of the issues I actually have. So, we talked about the Xbox. So, first off, this is the... When I press the PlayStation button, this is what comes up. And not a massive fan of this. I think some of the stuff is weird. Like, calling your friends list the game base is a bit weird.
But like, that's dumb, because like friends or friends list, it has been, and no matter what you like, whether it is social media, whether it is games, it's always called that. Why change it?
Yeah, so you've got your notifications, you've got downloads and uploads was here. I think you can customize this as well to like take certain things off it. But so they have the switcher, which it just shows you the games you've recently played. So if I go to Demon Souls, boots up Demon Souls, does not warn me that Astros is shut down in the background. So say if I'm playing a game that doesn't autosave regularly or is bad with autosaves, like it doesn't warn you that you're about to close this, and it's not like it has the quick resume stuff that the Xbox has. Like Astros is just closed now, it's gone.
Anything you haven't saved is...
It's on the PlayStation 4 does that. Like PlayStation 4, if you try to boot up another game, it gives you a warning that you're about to close it. Like opening this will close this other thing. Are you sure you want to continue? It's very weird that that's not there anymore. Like I just don't get why. It just seems very odd. Hans,
Nick,
Demon Souls.
Nick, I watched you play this the other night. You're not very good.
I'm not very good, but it's a very pretty game. So I feel like Demon Souls is like, if you're going to show someone next gen, Demon Souls is the game to show them. Like it is absurdly pretty, of just the way it uses lighting and things like that, and how well it runs. It's just like, this is next gen.
And this is only on PS5. This isn't it?
So I believe there is two purchasable launch exclusives on the PS5. Not, I'm obviously excluding Astrobot. And I think it's Demon Souls and Sackboy's Adventure are the only games that are on the PS5 but not on the PS4.
Yeah, so like they are pretty much going to be probably at this point the standard of what a PS5 game should be then, because they're not having to water some stuff down to make it run on the PS4 too. I forgot that's what your character looked like. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like my glowing eyes.
The black skin and glowing eye. And I don't even mean like black, I mean like black as fuck. Hi. Jesus fucking Christ. So like, what is Demon Souls?
So obviously Demon Souls is a like-for-like remake of the original PS3 Demon Souls. It is... Calling it ground up feels weird, because it is kind of ground up, but at the same time it's kind of not ground up. They have pretty much rebuilt the entire graphics engine and things like that, but in terms of things like the animation, where everything is, how the game plays, it is the exact same as the PS3 version. They've changed pretty much nothing in and around it. Sorry, just... let's get some of that. Let's get magic. That'll do. So... it's pretty cool. Like, it's... Blue Point have done this before. They did the Shadow of the Colossus, like, remaster remake that was kind of came out before.
And maybe one day they'll get to make their own game.
And they did a really good job with this. I think they've done a really good job with... They did a really good job with Shadow of the Colossus. I think they've done a fantastic job with this in terms of, like... I think they pretty much said, like, if you were able to capture the inputs of someone playing, say, the PS3 version and map them to this game, they would beat the game. Because that's how like for like it is. And the fact of the matter as well is that also that they have gussied up some of the animations, so like maybe it looks a bit nicer, but they've kept all like the animation timings and things like that the same. So like it's a very, very pretty game. Like I could not fault this game for how it looks at all. It runs well in performance mode. So this can change on the fly, I believe, without me having to reload anything. Is it display? It is display. So cinematic mode, I believe, is native 4K. So it is actually rendering this game in 4K. And it is pretty rough.
What is that going at?
It's not 30.
I'd say it's 24.
Yeah, it's rough.
So wait, is the cinematic mode It's not even like we made it run at 24 to make it look like a cinema film. It's just straight up, no, we made it look really pretty, but it runs like shit.
It runs at native 4K resolution, so it is actually rendering this game at 4K, whereas I believe performance mode is super sampling it or subsampling it to 4K.
Yeah.
So it is doing fancy tricks to make it look 4K, to have it output at 4K, but at 60 frames a second. I almost feel like they should not have put the cinematic mode in because it runs so bad, especially for a game like this where it actually, if you were playing, like, you would be at a severe disadvantage if you were playing the game like that. Fuck.
No, he didn't see that.
I'll not spend too much time in Demon's Souls because obviously it will not be enjoyable watching me die over and over again.
Yeah, no, we had that before in the channel. We will never do a Dark Souls game. Let's play.
But I just want to hop in and say, like, this is
Jesus Christ! Look how pretty that is.
Yeah, like
ray tracing.
No,
damn it!
It's not even like, I don't think this game is doing anything like insanely great with like what it's
you want to move
trying to achieve. It's just they have pushed, like, they've obviously taken the extra power that they have available to them and put it in very smart ways, like the contrast and the way, like, how harsh the lighting looks in between certain areas and things like that. Just look like, I think all the textures are super high quality. It just looks really, really fucking nice. So the other game I think also then, which does a cinematic mode better, is, if I head back to home, I shall boot up Miles Morales. Oh, that's not Miles Morales. That's the wrong Spider-Man. Miles Morales.
Yep. Also, again, can we just say, damn load times, though?
Yeah, so this is one of the weird ones, is they've said it's a bug, but they haven't fixed it yet. So they've said you shouldn't see this screen every time you boot up the game.
What's Sony Interactive?
Like this stuff.
Splash?
Yeah. So
that's the one where I think that's because it's generic, yeah.
So they say, like, you're only meant to see this the first time you boot up any game. Like, I don't know whether it's all games or just the Sony ones, but they said you should only see these splash screens the first time you boot up any game. It worked the first 2 times I booted up Miles Morales. It took me straight to the, like, menu where he's on the train, and then has now repeatedly shown me it every time.
But the thing is, a splash screen, like, those clearly aren't hiding load times, though.
No, they're not. But it's impressive when this goes straight to like, when you hit that button, you see the splash screen of him, like, as the game kind of just boots up in the background, and then you immediately get to the screen. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Sitting, going through, saying like, "Oh, fucking Sony Interactive, Insomniac." That's not that impressive. It's more annoying when you know it can do better. But they have come, like, Insomniac have come out and said that is a bug. Yeah. So Insomniac have said that is a bug and will not be. So,
oh, it's so pretty.
Hans, this is in performance mode, not the fancy mode.
It's still pretty though.
So Spider-Man is another game that has a performance mode and a quality mode. So performance mode is 60 frames a second and pretty much just runs better with the new hardware. If I go to trying to figure out where it is on any fucking game. It's going to be the new subtitles. Where is this option hidden?
Yeah.
So they call it fidelity mode. Games will call it their own thing. I don't know. They need to maybe standardize it. So this is the fidelity mode, as they call it, where it has ray tracing. It has
all your bells and whistles.
Higher quality. So
about 30 frames. But it's so worth it.
So this is actually not the save I wanted to load, to be honest.
Look at the floor. Look how shiny it is. Jump on it and see your own reflection. Oh, there you are.
Yep, you can see my crotch.
Yep, look at that tin.
So, like, this
tin, no bad thing, Nick.
It'll be better when I actually load the correct save.
Oh, sorry, I'm okay. I'm okay. I need to change my boxers.
God damn it, Hans.
Oh, so good.
Load game. This one.
This was good for you.
No. Having to sit here beside you? No. Oh, shit.
You forget you're in the strike armor.
I just changed back to the ordinary suit. Alright, so this is Miles Morales. It is a pseudo sequel, kind of 1.5, probably the best way of putting it, of the
DLC. I
wouldn't say it's DLC.
Expansion.
Yeah, expansion's probably the, like, they framed it as the same as like Uncharted Lost Legacy, which I think is a good way of putting it. Is like it's halfway between a sequel and an expansion, essentially.
I mean, Insomniac did the exact same thing with First Light, so they did. So
that wasn't Insomniac.
there's is that Sucker?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. But it's a similar thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Oh my god, Nick. I'm so aroused right now.
So yeah, this is...
Look at the building!
Yeah, so ray tracing obviously just means that you're getting like real-time, like one-to-one reflections. So is like, I believe the way Spider-Man worked was essentially, say if I was running up a building like this, like I would, if I was watching the window, you would actually see it fade essentially from like one New York background to another. As it like was like, oh, you're getting higher up, we have to change the background. But now I'm actually getting a one-to-one reflection of what is literally behind me. And like, that's what ray tracing does. Essentially properly simulates what light looks like and how light reacts in a world. And it's kind of insane when you like see it. Of just like, yeah, like the fact that like, yeah, you see the way the different angles of the windows like causes the reflection to change. Like obviously that was all like kind of prefab baked in last time. It is now not.
Oh my god.
Swung India lamppost.
They just look at the way it's just bouncing off the ground, and now it's like silhouetted you. Oh my god, like the game's so fucking pretty.
Yeah, this game makes real good use of like ray tracing and things.
Oh, I want to be inside it.
So one of the main reasons I wanted to jump into Miles Morales is I think it makes really good use of this stuff here, of the activities. So this is something that they've kind of put into, or they're kind of pushing for. It works really well with some games, works not so great with other games, and essentially for games like say Miles Morales, which is an open world game and it has defined like activities, like oh, here are things you could be doing right now, and if I literally hit play, it'll warp me straight to that activity.
In game?
Yeah.
Bet I could take him out.
Maybe not the best place to do that though, with an enemy right there.
So like that's really cool and works really nicely with some games, but for say I don't know a game like Demon Souls, where there's not that sort of thing, and like literally all Demon Souls does is like, here's the next trophy you might get. It's like, alright, that's not that useful.
But like
people have said this is really cool because like it makes it super. It's actually made it super fast to get like all the trophies in this, because you can just warp straight to like every single.
I do get that, but I also feel like it's like in something like Miles Morales, where half the fun is swinging around the city, it kind of takes like some of the enjoyment. And yeah, like I just also like I'm wondering like, is that going to extend like how, like is that going to be maybe more like Sony exclusive games are going to do that?
Yeah.
Because you know
That's like something. Oh god,
that's not where you meant to go.
nope. But then again, like something like Valhalla, like a similar thing is like, oh, you're looking for all the Roman artifacts. Oh, here's like we can warp you in the general area of one and things like that. Like I think it'll be really cool for open world games, and for something like say Astro, where it's like, oh, you're missing a puzzle piece in Cooling Springs. Let's give you a quick way. Like we can surface here. Oh, you're missing this and are almost at this trophy, and we can warp you straight to Cooling Springs to kind of get that trophy. So I think there is really cool use cases for it, and some that are just like it'll work really well with some games and just not at all with other games.
Yeah, other ones just seems to be like a trophy tracker.
Like I could not see it being at all useful in like something like Demon Souls, because I'm not warping from place to place in Demon Souls. I'm slowly making my way through a level and then probably very rarely going back to that level. But I think like Miles Morales is a good example of it, and I think also like Sackboy was also probably a really cool example of it, of just like, yeah, it'll let you warp from level to level where you're missing certain collectibles.
Oh, look at how Elijah's got his back.
Yes. Hans, you're very easily impressed.
Dude, Nick, do you remember what I was like when we did the fucking original Spider-Man on the fence? Oh, just happy. Just so happy.
Oh, sorry. I just punched my microphone.
Like, do you have an idea how much willpower I'm having to, like, not just reach across, punch you in the mouth, and take the controller off you right now? Because I just want to play more of this game. Why are you so shit?
I don't know.
Oh, I will take the controller off you, Nick, I swear to God.
But no, like, I think, in terms of showing off what a console can do, I think Miles Morales is, like, a perfect example of, here is something that, yes, probably looks really nice still on the PS4 version where you've been playing it. Yeah. But seeing all the extra bells and whistles that the PS5 can provide, and I think having that idea that you can then compare the PS4 and the PS5 version is something that'd be very cool, and seeing like, alright, here is what the PS5 considers, you know, looks good.
Yeah, well, that was it. Like, say, like, the thing about the Miles Morales was even if it wasn't on PS4 itself, you would have at least to say, so pull that thing down onto them, pull that thing down onto them, pull that thing down onto them until you don't hurry up, they're going to move. The one that's literally behind them.
But it wouldn't let me target it.
They're already away.
But it also does not let me target it.
Like, even if it wasn't, you would still have the parallel of, well, I had Spider-Man, so you can kind of see it that way. Like, so here we're Spider-Man on the PS4, look at this on the PS5.
It also helps that I feel like they've completely designed this game around stuff like ray tracing, and the fact that the two main factions in this are both metallic dudes with different LEDs on them. Yeah. I think it's very funny.
But this was like, the original Spider-Man had that too, because like the Devil's guys had like the smoky blue particle effect. The only ones that didn't really have it were like thingies got Kingpin's guys, because they were just dudes. That way, you know, there's just regular takedowns in this.
What do you mean?
Like if you just walk up behind the guy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize until halfway through. And I was like, oh, I could just actually walk up behind people instead of having to like web strike them.
The other way is more fun.
Oh, God, I love this game.
I know, Hans. I know.
Yes, sir. On my way.
Pull that on. No. See, look, you got one of them.
How did I get him but not the guy beside him?
Because he was next to a wall, the other one wasn't.
Oh.
Now that you've drained a couple reactors,
See, you're not Spider-Man as fuck like I am. That's your problem.
God damn it. Why did he like walk off?
Because you ain't no Spider-Man. Where's your exaggerated black swagger, Nick?
Let's not bring that up.
reactors waiting on
Dude, GameSpot, you fucked up. But it's a meme now.
You say so.
It is. Like, that's how I found out about it.
Oh god, the guy down there fucking got caught by the... got interested in it, not the other one.
Hey, sorry.
He just nutted himself on that balcony.
All units, I've got a man down. Need some backup.
Like, there are certain games that are going to benefit more from the whole like 60 frames.
Oh shit!
Oh, did you get him when you were safe or when he wasn't safe? That's right, you got him when he was safe. Like there are certain games that are going to benefit more from like the 60 frames and stuff like that. Like Spider-Man will 100% do it because like swinging through the cities and that sort of thing makes it 10 times more.
Like if I play through Spider-Man Remastered, which I have, I'll probably play it in I played through the entirety of this in the fidelity mode, as they call it.
Yeah.
And I played. I'll probably, if I decide to play through Spider-Man Remastered at some point, I'll probably play through it in performance mode to play it in 60 frames, because obviously this is a much shorter experience in general.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I can suffer through like a couple of hours at like 30 frames a second.
Even stuff like racing games and all. Like whenever the next Gran Turismo undoubtedly comes out.
It's been announced.
Yeah, but when it finally comes out, like it'll be like, you know, it's seeing it in 60 frames with ray tracing. You imagine ray tracing done on the cars and stuff like that, you know, it'll be amazing. I do think like though certain, like there's other games you won't need the 60, like, you know, like I don't know. I know it's not, like Gears for example, like in a shooter or something like that, you know.
I don't know about that. I'd prefer 60. There's no game that would not be better without 60 frames a second. Like, it's just going to look nicer in general. It's not going to be, like, there are some games it is not going to be, like, required. Like, I'm not going to be fucking freaking out if Tetris isn't in fucking 60 frames a second. But it's still going to be much more pleasant to look at if it is.
need to take that dude out in the balcony.
Yeah, but it's not giving me like the option to even.
You need to go there, yeah.
Weapon time. Prepare to engage.
Away! So, Nick, what's your favorite part about this game so far? Everything? I agree. Well done. No, but seriously.
This is not the on the fence answer.
But we're doing a bite size, so you're not going to get that sort of question on it.
Yeah, well, watch the video when it comes out if you want to hear our full opinions.
But I can't talk about anything else because I'm too mesmerized by the fucking.
Well, then fucking end the video and we'll fucking do the wrap up. I don't have any more games to show.
You're going to show bug snacks?
No, because it's not that impressive to look at. It doesn't do anything.
Alright, yeah, alright. Okay, so we are going to wrap this up then, and Nick will continue to play on a bit more in Spider-Man, and then he will give his thoughts and opinions on the PS5 right after this commercial break. Nick,
Hans.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
If I was on the fence about purchasing a PS5, and I almost said Miles Morales, what would you say to me?
I would say that
That? We'll never know.
it's a similar, if
Another
not
lab taken down. Slip out through the office.
slightly different. It's similar, but almost actually kind of very different scenario to the Xbox. While yes, it will play like games like Miles Morales and like there is exclusives on this, which the Xbox is sorely lacking right now. However, the downside of that is there's only 2 games you can't play on the PS. Well, 3 if you count Astros. 3 games you can't play currently on the PS4. Which one of them is Demon's Souls, which is already quite a niche game, and the other is Sackboy's Big Adventure, which has been getting meh reviews, and it doesn't exactly seem like it's an amazing game in the first place.
It wasn't really ever going to be a unit seller either.
Yeah, so while those are cool, and they do, I'm sure I can speak for Demon's Souls, I can't speak for Sackboy, and they do show off the real power of the PlayStation and the cool stuff it can do with the controller and things.
The Underground made it their favorite pastime.
Are those 3 exclusives worth dropping £450 for a console? Probably not, because they're all very niche and not like system selling games. Whereas while the Xbox doesn't have exclusives, it has the value of the Game Pass gives you a massive library at very little extra cost. Yes, this is fully backwards compatible, you can put your PS4 games in, but there's no big subscription service like there would be with Game Pass for PlayStation. And I feel like it's a big missing point of, you could have this game, you could get Demon's Souls and get through it in a couple of days, you could get Sackboy, probably only, again, take a couple of days, get Miles Morales, and then you're left with no games until God knows when the next exclusive will come out for your console that costs you £450, and then you're just left playing the games you could have played in PS4. Yes, some of them will look slightly better with the upgrades, but it's a similar proposition with the Xbox, where is that our games looking slightly prettier worth the cost of investment right now? Probably not. I think on the pure system level, I don't like the UI as much as I like the Xbox's UI. I think they've made weird changes from PlayStation 4 itself, which have not worked out for the better. I think the activity stuff is cool, but it's going to be very game dependent in the grand scheme of things. And it's going to be something that publishers and developers need to actually put effort into to get the reward out of it. So all in all, I'm slightly more mixed on the PS5 than I would be the Xbox, but more of that is just because Game Pass has given me access to a lot of games that I otherwise wouldn't have played before, games that I wouldn't have played before and are benefiting from the upgrades, whereas any game that I think would really benefit from upgrades either isn't getting it on the PS4 or I don't really have an interest in playing.
I haven't played the PS5, so I can't comment.
Correct.
But
I will say though, I think the controller is phenomenal, and I think it'll be a huge talking point, and I really do hope developers latch onto it and do cool things with it, because I would love to see, especially if I do think if it does get enough traction, I think Xbox will probably put out a revision of their controller that has similar features.
Do you know? Just thinking. Do you know who will probably do a really good job with it?
Naughty Dog.
No, Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
The Ratchet and Clank. I think the Ratchet and Clank. Will
That's
be
it's like
really good for it.
obviously stuff like Miles Morales I kind of get because it's coming out on PS4 as well, so
Yeah.
it's not going to make as cool use. But something like Demon Souls does kind of nothing with the controller.
Yeah.
And it's kind of disappointing. Like Astro's does really cool things with it, and I hope more games, especially now that Sony have seen the positive buzz that it has gotten. I hope they maybe push their developers more to make use of it, and I hope then that in turn maybe prompts Microsoft to do their own like revision of their controller with these features.
Has the developer or the design of it made the PS5 controller more expensive than the PS4?
I don't know. I do know, playing Astro especially, it has killed the battery on it. Because, like, after one session of playing Astro, like, when I first booted up the PlayStation, like, I needed to charge the controller. So, obviously, it's making use of the, like, the extra features, which obviously are requiring more battery power.
But, like, I'm wondering, like, is there...
But, yeah, I don't know if the actual cost of the controller is more than what, say, the Xbox or the PS4 controllers are.
Well, how much did it cost? How much did you buy yours for?
Well, it was part of the bundle. I don't know off the top of my head.
But yes, so that is Nick's opinions on the PlayStation 5, currently available for...
It's not. It's not currently
it's not.
available.
But it is currently priced at £450 for the disc version, and the digital version is £350.
I would personally, I don't, obviously not having one, I don't know, but I would steer away from the disc version because this only has an 825 gigabyte drive in it, like down from the typical 1 terabyte the Xbox has, and then obviously a good chunk of it, I think about 100 of that is taken up immediately with stuff like the OS. So, like, that's a small drive for a digital-only console.
Yeah, like, when we first talked about it, we assumed that maybe it was going to be the same price, but you would get more hard drive space, but they clearly haven't gone that way, so it seems like an odd choice, but hey-ho. But thank you very much, Nick, for taking us through this saunter through
Not
the
a
PS5.
problem.